I noticed watching back to some of our quickies, I have this shirt on a lot.
Yeah, I've noticed too that I need to change my t-shirt game. That's why today I'm wearing a Stitch t-shirt that I don't think has appeared in any of the quickies, but there's been a lot of the same t-shirts over and over. So we had
I
to
got
change up the repertoire, change up our wardrobe.
because if you're tuning in and grading us on what we wear, then
Oof. Yeah. Then immediately you are going away.
yeah,
You all right
that's.
there?
I think so. It's nothing.
Okay.
Nothing seems like it's where it's supposed to be right now. All right, there we go.
We get all these new subscribers and now we start the show like this.
Yeah,
Come
that's all right.
on.
Welcome, new subscribers, and welcome everybody in. It's Mike and Molson Mangle the news on a Wednesday night. Phones are open and ready for you at 707 4 Monkey. That's 707 466 6539.
You can also interact via YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, the comment section. So we appreciate you doing so. It always adds a little flavor to the show. We have a big one lined up for you, though. Though we start with some sad news. This one hit. This one hit more than I thought it would.
Hmm.
It's not like he's been at the top of the news for very many years. He's kind of done his own thing for a while. But when I got the news yesterday, the passing of George Wendt, it hit me a little bit harder than I would have expected.
Really?
And I think part of that is because it was my dad's favorite show of all time. And my dad always would go to a bar every Friday night called Bill's. It was a thing that he did. And I at times thought Norm and my dad were the same person
Hmm.
because just like same demeanor, same kind of like self-deprecating humor, and just would walk into a room and everyone kind of knew their name right away. So when I got the news of his passing yesterday, it hit on a different level.
And he's one of those actors, one of those celebrities that name something he did that bummed you out. I mean, personally, that he was never
Yeah,
anybody you
right.
couldn't. I mean, everybody just liked the guy. He spent 6 years in Chicago early in his career at Second City, and is one of the many alum that have come out of that institution. And so beloved around here. Add that on top of his the Bears
Yes,
skit
right,
from Saturday Night
exactly.
Live that he was a part of.
The Bears,
Yeah,
the super fans, the Schwersky super
yeah.
fans. And I saw an interesting take that someone had posted on social media about his passing, and it spoke really to people of my generation. Of there was two emotions they said that they were dealing with, was and both having to be nostalgic. One was, I want to go back to when I was a kid and watch that show with my family every Thursday night. The other was, I want to go back to my early 20s, to my bar where I
Mm,
was where it was my own personal Cheers.
yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting take of like kind of hitting you on a couple of different levels. And I think maybe that's why it also resonated with me as well, because of that generation where like I was a kid when the show hit, and then kind of still had that's kind of the bar in my mind, because I grew up with it. That's what a bar was
Hmm.
Cheers. Like, it's not a club, it's not super loud, it's just you're there with friends enjoying some beverages.
Well, nostalgia is a funny thing, and it's a topic that we've talked about here on the show. When something, somebody from a beloved sitcom passes away, there's usually this rumble of people who say it was so much better back then, as if every show on every network every night was of the caliber of Cheers.
No, not even close.
And when an old movie comes on TV, it's like, that's when movies were movies, not the garbage that Hollywood puts out now. Again, as if everything is its own, Chariots of Fire or some sort of Academy Award-winning thing. I was trying to think of something from the 80s because we have a new feature on the program called It Wasn't Better Back Then.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love this because you're right. We look back with rose-colored glasses, and not everything was great.
We remember the hit songs, and we think that every song was that hit, and every band was as influential as a Led Zeppelin or something. And it's just they're a band in a time of a lot of crap, and
Yes,
and so you
which
can.
go back and watch our segment about 1974, and
Yeah.
the number one hits of that year, and just
Awful.
the amount of just bad that had been top of the charts. It's not all great. It's not all
No, it
great.
isn't. It isn't. There's wonderful things from back then, like Cheers, and then there's things like Mannequin, which
Ooh,
isn't wonderful.
this
Not
is
good.
this is gonna be a tough one for me,
Okay.
because full disclosure, as a child growing up and my parents buying HBO or adding HBO a lot of HBO was just on in the background, because if we're paying extra for it, we're going to watch it. And this was one of those movies that was on a lot
Oh yeah.
in the early beginnings of HBO. And it was just funny enough, right, for like an 8 or 9 year old me, and like it wasn't wrong. It was just, it walked that fine line to where it would be on in the background and my mom wouldn't care, right? There was a love story
Well,
involved, so
yeah.
it just kind of, it played a lot.
I mean,
But
what?
you're
Yeah.
right.
As a prepubescent boy, Kim Cattrall in her underwear, whatever else is going on in the movie is irrelevant.
Correct, correct. And my dad liked designing women as well, so Meshach Taylor's in there. So it's like, and it was the bad guy from Police Academy shows up. So there was a lot of '80s all together.
Yeah.
But when you put that stew together, it didn't taste good.
Let's watch the trailer from Mannequin and watch it with 2025 eyes and see if it really was better back then.
Jonathan Switcher
Punk sex.
loves to talk to his work.
You know, you're the first thing I've created that made me feel like an artist. Don't you like your new scarf?
He never expected
Not especially.
to hear it talk back.
I really think I'm going crazy.
I am so glad you're working here. I never thought they'd hire anyone stranger than me.
You're the only one who can see me like this.
To the rest of the world, he's a disaster.
You're fired.
And she's a dummy.
You are one sick puppy.
But together,
Hey, don't do that.
You weren't so shy when you were creating me.
You weren't so real.
they make magic.
Look at him with the dummy.
Who are you to criticize?
That new stock boy, and I just want you to keep an eye on him for me.
I think I'm gonna handle things my own way. All the girl mannequins disappeared from the windows last night. Film at 11. Yes, my dear, your favorite. She is gone too.
Get him!
Mine's bigger than yours is!
Go get him!
You are magic.
He's talking to the dummy again.
Andrew McCarthy, Kim Cattrall,
You know I would never bother you when you're getting a piece of wood.
Mannequin.
I forgot James Spader's in this movie.
Yes.
I forgot James. James Spader wants you to forget he was in this movie.
I think so.
Right.
Everybody does.
But nonetheless, he is in it.
Oh, every beat of that is just all. And by the way, I don't know that I've seen it, but watching for a minute 21, I've seen it.
Yeah,
There's nothing I've missed, right?
Yes, the biggest plot point is what you missed. The reason why she comes alive is apparently she is I want to say it, don't quote me on this, even though I watched it way too much than I should have. She's like an ancient Egyptian spirit or something that takes over this manic. So I don't know. And that's how she becomes alive.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure, but I love all the ridiculous situations that were so out there of like, look at that guy on a scooter with a dummy.
And just so you know, even in its time, it was not liked. Here is the review from legendary film critic Roger Ebert, who gave it 1/2 of 1 star.
Not even a full star?
Not even that.
I mean, it was bad, but a 1/2 star? Come on, Roger. I'm intrigued to hear what he had to say.
He says, this movie is a real curiosity. It's dead. I don't mean it's bad. A lot of movies are fairly throbbing with life. Mannequin is dead. The wake lasts 1.5 hours.
Oh, no.
In Mannequin, McCarthy plays a hapless young man who is fired from one job after another, and Cattrall, you are right, an Egyptian princess who's reincarnated as a dummy in Philadelphia.
For what reason? Like, they don't ever really explain that.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, That's the plot. Here you go.
The supporting characters have been recycled out of failed sitcoms. Felix, the dim-witted night watchman, who, yeah, I mean, he was in everything and always played that guy.
Yeah, he was in every police academy, and Mahoney always got the best of him.
Yeah. He was in, and I looked up too. I mean, there was like this period of time where he's in like Chips and Laverne and Shirley and Happy Days and Dynasty and gosh, there was like 12 of them in a row, and it's like, yes, I can picture him in. And he was in MASH. He had a recurring role in MASH. But it's like, yeah, he was always that exact same person in that movie. Hollywood, the flamboyantly gay black window dresser who becomes the hero's only friend, Mrs. Timpkin, the good-hearted owner of the department store, Roxy, the hero's bitchy girlfriend who is jealous of the dummy. All these people do exactly what we expect them to do, exactly when we expect them to do it. The gimmick,
as seen in the trailer when he says, "Sick 'em, boy," and the dog runs the other way.
The gimmick is that the mannequin only comes to life when McCarthy is watching her. This rule is reinforced rather loosely. For example, when they ride down the street on his motorcycle, she only freezes up when other characters in the movie see her.
It's just like Fight Club. Is there something to it at the end where it's actually the mannequin was actually him in drag the whole time?
McCarthy and Cattrall are fairly helpless in the face of this material. And then he gives a couple of examples if you want to see them actually in good stuff. Look at Ticket to Heaven and Pretty in Pink.
Oh, and also look at Weekend at Bernie's for Andrew McCarthy. He's excellent in that movie.
Oh, yeah,
as well.
Studying the press material for Mannequin, I learned that Michael Gottlieb, the director, got the idea for this movie 5 years ago, walking down Fifth Avenue, and thought he saw a mannequin move in the window of Bergdorf Goodman. Just thought you'd like to know. And that's all Ebert has to say about that.
Kudos, though, to Gottlieb, right, the director, to take a chance possible occurrence of mannequin movement and somehow turn it into a 90-minute movie.
Right.
As bad as that movie was, let's at least give him credit that he was able to flesh out a way to not only come up with that story, get that story to be okayed by the studio, then get a pretty hot actor at the time, Andrew McCarthy, and Kim Cattrall coming off Porky's, and Meshack Taylor for Resigning Women, to be in this movie, let alone James Spader, and get this movie made. That's quite the accomplishment for Gottlieb.
Unbelievable. But you're right. There's this chunk of time where it's one of about 4 movies in rotation on HBO, and that was about all they had.
It was Mannequin, La Bamba, Side Out, and I can't remember what the last one was. And I know all of them by heart, way more than I should. I know more about Richie Valens than anyone ever should because I just watch La Bamba over and over and over again.
La Bamba is how you pronounce it. Is that right?
Yeah, La Bamba.
La Bamba.
Was it La Bamba?
La Bamba.
I call La Bamba, La Bamba, tomato. Let's call the whole thing off.
Now, another element in the movie Mannequin is its theme song, which we can't play on YouTube or on the other platforms because Grace Slick doesn't want anyone to think about it, I think.
Probably, yes.
And it's that song, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, which it suddenly occurred to me, with as much grief as Starship gets for We Built This City, I think Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now is worse.
Ooh.
I think it's worse.
Comment below or give us a call on the monkey phone, on the monkey line there, to say which one you feel is worse.
I mean, I get all the hate for We Built This City, but I think, and the only version I was able to find that we can use is from Kids Incorporated.
Okay. Who came up with Kids Incorporated?
I don't know.
I think when you do a deep dive on Kids Incorporated at some point, maybe in a future episode of Mike Molson Mandela News, because I watched that show too, and that that's not a great representation. That'd be like playing the Kid Bops version of a terrible song to begin with.
They didn't do it. They didn't hurt it any.
Well, that's right. It wasn't a great song to begin
No.
with. So I don't. Maybe I'm torn because "Built This City" is pretty universally hated on.
Mm-hmm.
But Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now. I think it's a pass because Mannequin the movie's so bad that people focus on that,
right,
and forget about it being on the soundtrack. Well, you got the lyrics for it.
Well, and I mean, yeah, and it's not, I know people don't really listen to the lyrics, but it's just like, I'm so glad I found you. I'm not gonna lose you. Whatever it takes, I will stay here with you. Take it to the good times. See it through the bad times.
Through the bad times.
Whatever it takes is what I'm gonna do. It's just, I've read Hallmark cards that are better than that.
Do you know this probably was somebody's first dance at a wedding, though?
Oh, of course.
We can build these dreams forever, standing strong together. Nothing's gonna stop us now.
Yeah.
And if the world runs out of lovers, we'll still have each other.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird. That's an odd choice of words. That if the world runs out of, what do you mean? Yeah. Why are you looking for other lovers? If we're supposed to be together as much as you're saying in the song, what would we care if they had a bunch of lovers or not?
Right. And then they just say the same thing for the next, 2 minutes of the song.
Oh yeah. It's terrible.
In one of the articles, the songwriter Albert Hammond said he was living with his girlfriend for 7 years, and finally his divorce went through, and he could get married, and that's what inspired him to write the song. And then he saw a mannequin move at Bergdorf Goodman.
So wait. So this guy was cheated on his wife.
No. He'd left his wife, or she left him, one of the ways, but he couldn't get married because his divorce hadn't gone through.
For 7 years?
I don't know.
That seems to be dragging your feet.
Well, somebody was.
Or was it also during the airplane becoming a starship, and is it Jefferson in there or not Jefferson or post Jefferson? Was that legal battle also going on at the same time?
Right. So yeah, a ridiculous idea, a ridiculous concept for a movie. Terrible song. That I will stand on that one. Arguably worse than We Built This City.
I'm gonna go with your hot take. Yeah. I think you're onto something. I think Built This City has gotten, justly crapped upon for years. This one, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, has flown under the radar because of the shield of how terrible the Mannequin movie is.
Yeah, well, and the shield of how bad We Built This City.
Built the City is. Right.
So this is for you, kids of the internet, who I know the first thing you do on Wednesday night is come on and watch us.
Correct. Or watch the quickie.
Yeah. When the old fogies in your life say, you don't know real music and real movies, it was so much better back then, just show them this and say, no, it wasn't better back then. You had this. You had this.
Oh, did you know they made a sequel, by the way?
They did make a sequel.
Yeah.
And I think the black guy is the only one who is in both movies. Hollywood.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, Hollywood, I think, is the only. Oh my! How much do you think this ended up getting in the box office?
The original or the sequel?
The original. How much do you think Mannequin made at the box office?
$7 million.
It made $42.7 million in the box office on an $8 million budget.
Well,
we're saps.
That's a good return in your investment.
We're saps. No wonder they made a second one.
Yeah.
God, we're a bunch of saps. That $42 million.
And isn't that the crazy thing about all movies where you go, okay, why was this thing made? And then you look at, even if you double your money, who's not going to want to be in on that deal? This obviously, almost tripled.
Yeah. The film debuted at number 3.
No, what am I saying?
Guess
5 times.
Guess what it lost out to, debuting at number 3?
It debuted at 3?
The film debuted at number 3 at the U.S. box office over the 4-day President's Day weekend in 1987, behind Platoon and Outrageous Fortune. The other opening weekend movie that weekend, Over the Top from Sylvester Stallone.
Wow. Well, you know what? If those are it's good counter programming. If Platoon and Over the Top are in the other two screens, and you just want something light, then this is what you watch. I mean, I guess that's what it is.
I think that's exactly what it is. Here is David Cornelius of DVD Talk wrote, quote, Mannequin is one of the stupidest movies ever conceived and one of the worst, what makes it in its lousy way mesmerizing. To watch it is to get sucked in by its hypnotic ways. Its very off-the-wall shoddiness is astounding. Spader alone is worth the price of admission. Surely aware of the movie's badness, the actor hams it up with a deliriously over-the-top performance.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's another take on Mannequin, which had 42 million. Oh my God, it won awards.
What? What award? What, the song, maybe? What award?
Yes. Yes. Best. So at the ASCAP Film and Television Music Awards, most performed song from a motion picture, it won. Nothing Gonna Stop Us Now. It was written by Albert Hammond and Diane Warren.
Yeah.
And at Fanta Festival, I don't know what the hell that is. It won Best Film, Best Director, and Best Actor.
Jesus, what? How?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. At the Fanta Festival. Also, by the way, would you believe that Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now was up for Best Original Song at the Golden Globes?
Damn.
And at the Grammy, Best Song Written Specifically for a Motion Picture or Television, it was nominated for a Grammy.
You know, I do believe it, just because it was a monster song. You couldn't get away with it. In 1987, that's just kind of the vibe of what was on the radio anyway. And so
Yeah.
it fit its time. We're going to have to do a segment in coming weeks on what the hell happened to 60s and 70s rockers when the 80s came along.
Yes. They all turned into mush.
Yeah, I mean, because you look at Jefferson Airplane, Somebody to Love, and White Rabbit, and I mean, just all the psychedelic stuff. They did badass songs, and then the '80s come around, and you go, how is this the same person?
Nothing
And it happened to Phil Collins
and
and Stevie Wonder and Paul McCartney. I mean, just something just went crazy. Anyway, that's a segment for another day. This segment is called "It Wasn't Better Back Then." It wasn't.
By the way,
it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Just to add real quick to put a little bow on this. So 87 is when the first one comes out. Because no one comes back for Mannequin 2, and the director didn't even do it, it only grossed $4 million.
Ooh.
So Mannequin 2 made exactly $38 million less than Mannequin 1.
Dude.
Shows you how bad that movie was.
Yeah, I mean, you go, look, you step up to the craps table and win. You keep the money in your pocket and go. You don't go back. You don't go back to the well.
You don't double down. You don't double down. Speaking of doubles down there, a testicle dagger?
Yeah, this was just uncovered while they were doing an archaeological dig in Sweden. They're specifically at Westgotha Legion. And they're uncovering all these really cool things that are in really, really good condition. And one of the things they found, this is stuff that dates back to the 14th century, objects from the 15th and 17th century. There's a limestone sundial, beer taps, a soup spoon, and the one everyone's talking about, the medieval testicle dagger.
Now, was it used to eunuch people, or why is it called the testicle dagger?
It's for dagging your testicles. The article goes on from Popular Science to say the decorative design leaves little to the imagination and answers any lingering questions about how the weapon earned its nickname. The overall shape is particularly phallic, with a penis-like pommel.
Oh, okay, I see it now. The handle looks like a dick.
And two decorative testicle-like orbs. They
Okay.
believed that it was worn outside of your armor or your going to war garb, and it would sort of hang in front of you and swing like a big old sharp ding dong.
Like a sharp dang.
Yeah. And it also says, though, when you shape your stabbing knife like a dick, you get a better grip, and
Better
you can have
penetration.
additional force when attempting to damage the opponent's armor.
Well, there you go. The Swedes are
The
onto something.
testicle dagger helps to better contextualize life at the frequency besieged by the besieged Gulberg Castle. With excavations largely complete, they got to the testicle dagger and said, "We're not going to find anything better than this.
No, not going to get better than
Let's
this.
just
You got
leave."
beer taps and testicle daggers.
Yeah. They are now wrapping up the archaeological finds, but this will be hopefully making a tour to the museums across North America, and we can get our handle on the old testicle dagger ourselves.
Speaking of wrapping things up, let's hope this never happens again. We were one of the first to report about the sperm racing that was actually conceived by, we find out now in this article, a 17-year-old kid who got kicked out of high school in Indiana for running a bunch of scams. He's a tech entrepreneur, and he somehow was able to get people to back this up in the tune of like $2 million. Okay. So this reporter from Men's Health magazine decides Jason Rogers, he drew the short straw and is like, all right, I'm going to go and watch this thing live.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So remember they were saying they were going to have like 5,000 people and it was going to be a whole production and you could watch it live on the internet if you want.
You gamble,
so
right?
Yeah, you could bet on it and everything. So this guy shows up and he says there was a raised VIP platform with purple like bunting. They also had scoreboards flashing the sperm racing logo and also cycled through a rotating lineup of puns. Are you ready for these? What was on the scoreboard to cheer along with for sperm racing?
Hit it.
Almost ready to bust. Jizz a few more minutes. And coming soon, and I bet you know how they spelled that one. Swing and 3 misses. When the doors finally opened, the crowd, which is it was mostly teenagers, was more like 400 people, not 4,000.
Teenagers.
Some were, yeah, because it was all ages,
right?
Because there's no nudity. It's just
right. No,
the sperm's going to be injected in the track. So, the main event was a guy from USC's sperm versus a guy from UCLA's sperm. So there was a lot of those individuals wearing USC or UCLA shirts and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There was a nurse there, an actual nurse was there who specialized in male reproductive health. She was there representing the at-home sperm testing startup Legacy, who is a quote-unquote loose sponsor of the event. They said they went on and had different. You could buy different merch. They had full blown like intros for everyone, like bringing to the stage. They showed up with the NASCAR logo. They said the event felt like a YouTube echo chamber, as about half the attendees I met identified as content creators. So that had to be fun.
Yeah. God.
Yeah,
I'm glad this was a flop.
Yeah, they said through it all, when it came down to the final race, the two individuals returned to the stage and were directed to step into a glass tank with tubes snaking upward toward fluid containers overhead. I was briefly puzzled until I had a flashback to the childhood afternoons watching Double Dare, where the contestants could slime each other from above. Except in this case, the looming question was, is it really going to be what you think it is?
Right.
At center stage, two bearded dudes, one in a black hoodie, the other in a white lab coat, used a heavy-duty pipette to deposit the samples onto the track, and the race began. The crowd of now about 500 strong erupted as they stared up at the Jumbotron, which supposedly displayed actual wiggling sperm going around this track. And it ended up that one of the guys ended up winning. They said occasionally the race looked a little off with the sperm grouping suddenly surging forward, then stalling. They said it was kind of exciting to watch. But yeah, so at the end of the day, in a photo finish, one of the guys' sperm crossed the line first, taking home the victory and triggering the splash tank, which covered his opponent with an even bigger load of thick white goop.
Oh, come on. That's not necessary.
No, it's not. As congratulations by Post Malone blasts over the speakers, blooms of confetti rained from the sky. By the way, the confetti was shaped as sperm.
Right. And weren't they trying to couch this under some sort of a fertility
yes,
IFV positive something?
No, they were trying to use it
to sperm bank.
Yes, it was kind of, they were using it as a way to gain kind of coverage of the fact that the sperm counts and just the fertility overall of men has been dwindling for years.
Oh, okay.
This is something we need to bring attention to, hence sperm racing.
Okay.
They want to go to Vegas next after their stop in California. They're trying to negotiate a Netflix deal as well, Johnny, for their sperm racing.
I mean, when it flops, don't you just be like the director of Mannequin and walk away and go, I don't think we do this anymore?
Nope, not this kid. He's got it all covered. He's going to try to get a Netflix deal because, they added the whole white goo at the end for your opponent that lost.
Hilarious.
Yes. Oh, moving on, we have more bad ideas in general. Let me introduce, first of all, karaoke in and of itself is a little fraught with peril.
Terrible.
Right? I mean,
not fraught with peril. Not fraught with, it's terrible.
The allure for some people is they get to belt out their chosen songs, and it's their 14 minutes of fame or 5 minutes of fame, or whatever it may be. But imagine it now nude with
and it looks like this all the time. It's always, that's what it always sounds like.
Yes, exactly. It never sounds good. So coming up in June, this group of naturalists have a whole weekend planned, and one of the activities is nude karaoke.
Good.
They said there'll be an evening dedicated to karaoke on June 21st, starting at 7 o'clock and ending at 11:30 p.m. Between belting out classics, there'll also be a supper menu served, with attendees having the option of a beef burger or deep fried scampi.
I don't know why that's funny, but it's just funny.
Yeah, vegetarians can expect a cheese encased in breadcrumbs with skin-on fries. So if you want to go and sing nude, if that's something you should just do in the shower. They're basically taking something sacred of shower singing and turning it into a spectacle, and I just can't jive with that.
I really feel bad for these people in the picture because these people are behind them. These nudes are behind them. Can you see that?
Yeah, I do see that. That's some interesting placement there.
Don't bend over. Don't bend over.
Yeah, you don't do that when that's going on behind you. That's not what you do when that's behind you. Come on.
No, you don't.
They have a whole bunch of they got an afternoon tea that'll be held with a twist. The event will be complete with a Bucks Fizz Buzz. I have no idea what that is, nor do I want to know. Guests can expect to enjoy everything from a selection of finger sandwiches, homemade quiche, and mini Scotch eggs to scones, jam, and clotted cream. And they're also going to be taking part in the Great British Skinny Dip campaign. You can purchase lunch from there, then the karaoke evening. So yeah, they got a lot lined up for you here.
Yeah. They've got a special Boogie Nights thing coming up. Tonight they're doing British skinny dipping.
And then June, I want to say June 21st or something is the nude karaoke. Why? Why do you need nude karaoke?
August, they're doing a Rocky Horror Show Dress to Impress, which is the
But you're
opposite of nude.
nudist. What? Yeah, exactly. What are you doing dressed to impress? You're nudist. That makes zero sense.
How many times do you think this photo gallery button gets clicked on this website?
Oh, way too often.
I'd love to see
way too often.
Forgive me, but I'd like to see the back end stats.
Hey, how many times compared to how long do they stay on the actual site? Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll just, if you want to go looking for the site, go ahead. But I'll just go ahead and tell you, you're not gonna see anything. I mean,
well, you had that one picture basically summed everything up.
Right.
Here we go. There's a photo of one guy that's just like the quintessential. There, right there. That's what you're missing out on.
Mm-hmm.
That right there is every nudist colony and nude beach ever. It's that guy.
Yeah. He's holding a microphone. Maybe he's the MC for the karaoke night.
I bet you he probably is. Oh, They have a game room? Look at that. They got a game room. Nothing like having your balls sling against a foosball table.
Yeah. A snooker table, tabletop shuffleboard, and various games for adults and children.
No, you can't put that in there.
Plus, we keep freezers in there if you wish to use them.
For what? To ice your nuts after you get snookered in the balls? Because you had your balls up on the snooker table? Oh, what's the rules on photography?
In order to preserve everyone's privacy, permission must be obtained from a committee member before taking any photos or videos, and explicit permission from everyone in the photo, even if they're in the background and maybe they didn't notice. Children under 12 must be accompanied by a supervising adult at all times. Look, I know, it's this whole naturalist thing, and yes, it's perfectly fine to have kids in there, but it's not perfectly fine.
No, that's something you don't need to see. Just imagine for a moment, if you will, the horror.
Yeah.
Just remember the horror of when you accidentally saw your parent naked growing up. And then times that by everybody around you and throw in grandma and grandpa on top of it. There's no reason a child should ever have to see that.
I don't think so.
Finally, what's their thing? It's under finally.
Just if you have any concerns or anything like that, here's how to get there. Here's some lady's butt. They got it covered.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, look at the food hygiene rating. A 4.
That's not enough.
That's not nearly enough. I mean, that's good for not having any clothes on ever.
Yeah.
But it's not good. Yeah, it is just good, but it's not good. If you're doing, hey, we're not super dirty. We got a 4 out of 5. That's not bad, right? There may have been some taints touching your food at some point, but you'll be fine. You'll still live.
Well, the big Indy 500 is coming up, of course, for Memorial Day weekend. And adding to the event is the Weenie 500, where the Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles are going to compete in a race. Yeah.
Thank God. I thought that was like the charity walk at the nudist colony. Is the Weenie 500, just 500 dudes just running around there down the straightaway. Ah, so goodness. It's okay. So the Wienermobiles are going to be the Wienermobiles are racing.
Yeah. They're going to do this Friday at 2:00 in the afternoon and you can watch it on the Fox Sports app. That's how much attention is going. It's going to be Friday, 2:00 in the afternoon on the Fox Sports app.
If you get caught watching it at work, is that an excuse to be like, but it's the Weenie 500?
This will be the first time that all 6 Wienermobiles have met in a competitive race. Each sporting an all-new look. Each Wienermobile will represent a different regional dog, including the Shy Dog, New York Dog, Slaw Dog, Saran Dog, Sonoran Dog, Chili Dog, and the Seattle Dog.
Oh, okay. My money's on the Shy Dog.
I hope there's a wipeout. I hope there's just some absolute
you want to see
horrific.
A big wreck?
Oh, I do. I want to see like a Dale Earnhardt. I mean, just absolute obliteration. Something horrible happen.
You want to see
and then they'll go, why was this only on the app? We should have been broadcasting this everywhere.
You want to see a sword fight from the Wienermobiles, just kind of crossing against each other there. Want this to be next week's TWISMO as we see a wiener go up into the wall and just scrape the side. Oh no, it's a wiener scrape.
Because in at least one or two of the Wienermobiles, there's somebody going to be very competitive. Somebody who just says, "I really want to win this," and
Robin is racing,
and they're just going to get that adrenaline in their head, and they just won't know what to do with themselves, and they're going to just hit it, and that thing, which has the weirdest center of gravity of any vehicle ever built, is just going to tumble and fall and go into the stands. People will die. This is going to be great. I'm going to watch.
Burt Wiener is going to happen. It's going to catch on fire. Burt Wiener at the Indy 500.
Oh,
yeah. I like the concept, but I'm with you. Somebody's going to take it too seriously.
Yeah.
Someone's probably already loaded up on nitrous to like have a boost for their wiener. Be like, hit the nitrous. It's going to be too fast, too furious. Ridiculous.
I'm looking for. I have to download the Fox app and probably set up an account.
Yeah, Fox Sports app for Friday.
A lot of things I need to do, and have to verify my email address and come up with a 2-factor authentication so I can watch the wiener race. Shit.
And then immediately unload that app from my phone. But it'll be worth it just for the Weenie 500 we got going on there.
Well, a drunken night out for one man in India led to a search party trying to find him. This gentleman,
went
out with a bunch of friends and got completely drunk, and just sort of wandered off into the woods. So hours go by. His wife says, "Oh my God, he hasn't come home," and so she calls the police, and they form a search party. According to a Turkish news outlet, Beyhan Mutlu had been out drinking with friends, so the local police quickly organized a search effort and started combing the forest. Mutlu, unaware that he was the person everyone was looking for, came across the search party and said, "Hey, can I give you guys a hand?" He joined the volunteers
How bad of a search party is this?
Yeah.
When the guy you're searching for walks up to you and you don't realize that's the guy you're looking for.
Oh, but check it out. They're walking around shouting his name into the woods.
Okay.
And he didn't pick up on it.
Realize it was...
Must be some other Mutlu.
The very common name over there.
The confusion came to an abrupt end when one of the searchers called out, "Beyhan Mutlu!" And Mutlu responded, "I'm right here." And at that point, the rescuer took him aside to get his details and understand what was going on. He says, "Don't punish me too harshly. My father will kill me." So not only was his wife concerned, I think.
So he's not even worried about his wife. It's just his dad was the one he was worried about even more.
Yeah, his wife and friends contacted authorities to report him missing, but he doesn't want to get in trouble from his dad. Probably, he doesn't want his dad to realize that he's an absolute dumbass and was walking around shouting his own name, hoping to find himself.
There's so much to this story. There's just so much between the drunk guys giving a, "Hey, what are we looking for? We're looking for Bootland Moodaloo or whatever." "Oh, can I help?" "Hey," and then finally it hits of like, "Wait a second, that's who I am.
That's me.
That's me the whole time. Gotcha, you've been punked."
Yeah, I like that. That's a really good point. Yeah, he sobered up just enough to be a good citizen and say, "Oh, I got to help these people out."
Who are we looking for? Bootland Moodaloo. "Oh, yeah, I'll help you out."
And slowly, as he walked off the booze, he was like, "That's me."
Wait a second. They're looking for me. Oh, man. It is wedding season. Wedding season is beginning. And this is just odd to me. The whole thing is just weird. This was taken to the internet. This woman goes, "I took the engagement ring off for a second since I was doing gardening and came back to find my mother-in-law wearing my ring saying how pretty it is. She had been going on about how much she liked it before, but to put it on without my permission seems invasive."
Seems weird.
Wore it. Yeah, she wore it, put it to the light to see the diamond sparkle and commented on how nice it looked. My ring now feels tainted because someone else has worn it, and being someone I don't have a good relationship with. But then again, that could just be me being over the top.
Good Lord.
So she's like, I don't know about this ring anymore. Now that my mother-in-law put it on and like took it to the light and like, let's see here. Oh, my son has done a fantastic job. Why would you do that?
I just wanted to feel what it was like to be married to my baby boy.
I bet she's one of those
think
moms.
it's part of that, right?
I think so. I think she's one of those
It's gotta be
moms.
part of that of like, you're taking my boy away from me, but I just have to look and see and feel, what if it was me that he had chosen instead?
Oh.
Oh, what a beautiful ring. What a beautiful ring.
That's awful.
Yeah,
that's awful, but
that's
I think that's what it
exactly-
was.
Yeah, that's why it's tainted. Because otherwise, why the hell would you do that? Like, it's one thing to pick it up and look at it, but to put it on, like, that's something kind of sacred. Put
That's
on
messed
somebody
up.
else's wedding ring.
God, I would love to know what that last moment of as she walks into the room and just sees Mother doing one of these. Holy crap! How disturbing.
Yeah. Somebody said, responding to a commenter, you're not being unreasonable to be annoyed that she just went and tried it without asking, but you are being unreasonable and weird to say it's tainted. I don't think you are.
No, because she's one of those mothers. That's the only that has to be the answer. That has to be.
Well, yeah, because she goes on saying that she does not have the greatest relationship with this woman to begin with, and now all of a sudden this happens, and it's like, yeah, this seems to be more than just, I want to see what the ring would look like on someone's finger.
Can I try out the wedding night instead of you?
Oh, he likes his favorite color is pink. In fact, we were with him at the nudist colony. We took him there when he was 9, and he really enjoyed his time there.
I used to wear this when he was a baby. Maybe it'll turn him on.
Yeah,
Gross.
she's one of those. She's one of those mothers, no question.
Do you need to now ask for a new engagement ring?
New ring. He's got to do the whole proposal over again.
Oh, okay. You're going that far that he needs to the whole thing needs to be just scrubbed for everyone's memory, and we start all over again.
Yeah, whatever the equivalent of an engagement annulment might be, he needs to get one of those. Just needs to be wiped from the records.
Because this mom is going to be the one that wears white on the wedding day too, isn't she?
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah,
and she's going to want to walk her boy down the aisle before the ceremony, and kind of stand there for a moment that's way too long, where everyone else in the church is like, I thought he was getting married to Julie. Yeah. Why is the mom still there? It's all going to be goofed.
Does Julie kiss you like this?
Yeah, it's all going to be horrible.
Oh yeah, they are going to be that family too. You know what? This may be the best for this woman. She may have gotten a window into the rest of her life, and she may just want to run away and be like, you know what? Keep the ring, because it's just not worth it.
I'm totally with you on that one. All right. Time for some action finally on this show.
Hey, we've had a lot of action. Just look at Kim Cattrall in those windows.
Time for This Week in Slow-Mo. And we got a skateboarder.
Well, that always been bad.
Yeah. Trying to do the thing that is really impressive when it works, where the skateboarder jumps up onto a rail and does the half pipe. Is that what that's called?
No. As a former skateboarder myself,
thank you.
You're grinding the rail.
Grinding the rail.
You're doing a rail grind, and it does look cool.
It does look cool.
Inevitably, unless you're a pro, it ends terribly. Like, first of all, I will fully admit, if we had video of it from back in the day, I would have totally used it as TWISMO in this instance. The one time my parents were always against me skateboarding, because they're like, hey, you're an athlete, you're going to get hurt on your skateboard. I'll be fine. So they finally bought me a good skateboard. And I tried to do what this gentleman is about to do. And when I landed on the rail, because I had grinded some rails before and I didn't have like the grind protectors, it had worn out the middle of the skateboard. So in this particular instance, when I ollied up, it split in half, and so did my nuts because I went right down. I went right down on the rail and racked myself, and that was the end of skateboarding for me.
Well, let's watch what happens to this poor guy. And as we go into the slow-mo version of it, there's a point where I think we can figure out that it's gone horribly awry. Goes by fast.
My face. Hurt my face.
Hurt my face. It put his face right into that fence. I think the video quality isn't that great, but I think at a point on the rail there's a separation, and that because you hear it clang, and that's when he starts to lose his balance. I think it separates, or maybe the two bars got out of whack. It's not as clear as I'd like it to be, but just watch. There.
Oh, right there, yeah. Right there, yeah.
Yeah. You go back to the very first one, and you can hear it happen, and where it is about right where there would be a break in the bars. Bang.
Right there. And then boom. My face. Yep. It's not smooth anymore. He hits a little groove, and it just throws off the flow.
Yeah, and I almost wonder if his own weight pushed one of them down, and it
could have been,
and it popped it because it just has that sound like it just got.
To his credit, he dismounts, realizing he was going to not finish the trick.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for him, there's a fence 2 inches away from where, even had he landed the trick, he was going to hit that fence.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Absolutely right about that.
Oh.
just look how he drags his face down the side of that fencing.
Oh. And I love how he just adds at the end, my face.
But as we zoom in a little bit closer, and again, it's dodgy quality, but it's good enough that you can just see when he hits, he just goes all the way down. That it's got to be absolute murder.
Jump. Fall. Oh yeah. On both sides too. He hits one and then turns and
Yeah, that is
his face
that had to be an absolute. I mean, just. Everything. Oh.
And the angle of his back too when he hits it.
Yeah.
Also can't be feeling real good either.
And he does and I know it's completely involuntary, but we all do it when you start to stumble and you think you can contort your body like a cat and somehow defy gravity, and it doesn't matter. You can flail your arms as much as you want.
Oh.
Brutal.
Yeah, awful. That poor guy.
Awful for him,
maybe
but
next time.
Good TWISMO.
Good TWISMO for us. Yeah, maybe next time also don't do that so close to a fence.
Right.
Probably, find your surroundings a little bit better next time, Broseph.
If there's a video you want us to break down in slow motion, send it in to us, put it in the comments. We're easy to find. You can find us. Make sure you like us on Facebook, and you can contact us that way. Subscribe to the page, like the page. What else we ring the bell.
Yeah,
That would-
ring the notification bell. That should let you know we're going live. Like I said, like the videos. That helps us out tremendously to get through the algorithms, as they say. So we appreciate you. Yeah, we appreciate you tuning in, and I'm looking forward to our new feature. It wasn't better back then. Well, we'll do deeper dives into terrible, terrible music and films.
Yes, exactly. All right. We'll see you next week at 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central, right here on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Bye.